Are those new Dr. Theodore Atlas polo shirts?
Yes, they are.
They're very nice.
Thank you.
Very, very nice with the insignia on the crest of the chest there.
I'll get one for you.
Oh,
and your
no,
son.
no.
I'll bring one for you and your
that's
son.
very kind of you.
Your great son who's sitting next to us.
Johnny Tess on the road with us.
In the dressing room, remind you to listen to me at all times. Shake hands and God bless.
Keith Hughes is the referee.
I know we're looking for touchdowns here. You know, we're looking for points, but your son is a heck of a field goal kicker.
He would tell you that he's still a work in progress, as is the case.
We're all works in progress over here.
Still am in my mid-40s.
Exactly.
Especially the guys that are on the other end of these headsets, too.
That's a work in progress, yes.
What do you say we fight, huh, Teddy, before they come out and fight us? Let's go, guys.
Let's go,
Have yourselves a main event.
And I wonder if Mora's knee is okay, because you don't usually see taping on the left knee. You see it on Mora, so he uses his legs. That could be a problem. Obviously, he has some kind of problem with his left knee. It's taped up a little bit there for support. And you wonder how much it's going to affect him tonight, because, again, Mora does like to step in and out.
He's got that left knee taped up, and as you see it wrapping around to the front end of that patella tendon, which often just trying to keep everything compact and tight in there, avoids probably some continued discomfort that he's been feeling.
Mora, the former champion, he was on the floor in his last fight. Also, Han was on the floor in his last fight. Matter of fact, 2 times, and 1 time from body shots. If I'm in the corner of Mora, I've given him that information that, hey, the guy in front of you was on the floor his last fight from a body shot. As I like to say, you might want to visit the basement, put a little water there. This is what you're going to see. You're going to see Mora fighting spurts. Try to control the pace. Try to control range. Step out, step in, keep a one-dimensional Han off balance. And Han, well, once he gets the engine going, he's going to go forward. And he's physically strong, Han. The problem with Han is his defense isn't that great. Like the old timers would say, Joe.
That was a right hand that Mora just caught him with.
The old timers would say, Han gets insulted if you miss it.
Well, that wasn't easy to miss at all. He just came with a right lead that time and landed it.
Well, that's what Mora's going to look. He's going to use the jab as window dressing. Always looking to set up, well, for him, the right hand. That's what Mora's looking for in this fight. And Han, well, as I said in the fight plan, he gets hit with right hands.
Mora gave him an angle that time. That did not land flush.
Both these fighters can switch to southpaw if they need to.
Something interesting about that switch that Mora makes, and this has been his entire career. We've noted it years ago. He's very comfortable actually punching within the transition, off the transition, of not making a switch, gathering himself, going to that committed stance of southpaw, and then engaging. He will punch in the midst of the transition from orthodox to southpaw.
Yeah, that's a good point, because a lot of times a fighter who's having somebody in front of him switch to southpaw doesn't think he's ready to punch.
Exactly.
And all of a sudden, bang, the punch is coming from a different angle than it was a second earlier.
Han came forward there at the end. Number 3, the American who just fought on Friday Night Fights last month and fought in Boxino last year at 160 pounds, now fighting Alex Perez here in the 154-pound tournament.
Yeah, I like Brandon Adams. I mean, he's the only returnee from last year's tournament, and he caught my eye. Only 6 amateur fights, but the thing that's beautiful about these tournaments is you can watch somebody grow right in front of your eyes, and I watched Brandon Adams grow right in front of my eyes. I'm looking forward to see him go a little further.
Well, if anybody knows the success you can have coming out of a tournament, it's the guy in front of us right now in the silver trunks, Sergio Mora, who won the made-for-TV reality series tournament and then used that as a springboard to a title. And now here at 35 years old, still looking for more in his career in round number 2. But that's next week. We're going to have the 4 fights as he goes back. That is a slip. We're going to have the 4 fights to start off. It's the opening round of the Boxino 154-pound tournament next week from Mohegan Sun.
You know, going into this fight, I said to myself, I made a little note, Mora should win this fight just on class alone. You know, unless there's not enough tread left on the tires of Mora, who is 35 years old. Look, Mora has won at a level, very simply put, that Han has not been able to win at. Matter of fact, Han stepped up in competition once in his career, and that represents his 1 loss and a knockout loss at that. I don't know that Mora has the firepower to stop Han, but he's got the experience, the awkward sort of style to give Han problems. The one chance for Han is to try to just out-hustle Mora, because Mora will fight just in spurts. Watch it. He'll change range, he'll change angles on you, but he only throws offense. He only moves his hands in spots. Best shot for Han. Be busy
Pick him up a little bit.
all night.
Watch where he's going. Pick him up.
Wouldn't be a bad idea, Joe. If you're a trainer, you're in the corner with Han, if you told him to go to the body. I mean, you notice, you should know that you have the guy in front of you, and Mora uses his legs a lot. One way to take those legs away a little bit, take some of the air out of the tires, go downstairs.
Just went to the body with a left hand right there against Mora. End of 2 here.
Hey!
Trip here, watch the feet. You can see they get tangled up right there as Mora gets 2 feet too close together. That's Mora's fault a little bit. I usually wouldn't say that, but both his feet are too close together, and Han got 2 for the price of 1. Usually you see a guy step on 1 foot, maybe trip him up, but Han stepped on both feet of Mora because Mora's feet were too close, Joe.
Round 3, scheduled for 12 here.
You can always learn something on our shows. Don't get your feet that close together. Mora will look for right hands all night. But again, Mora will fight in spurts. He spends as much time moving out of range, moving his head as he does moving his hands. That's the opportunity for Han, as I said the last round, Joe, to just out-hustle, try to out-hustle the 35-year-old Mora. Both these fighters have been involved in head clashes. Han been cut from head clashes, and Mora, he's been cut from head clashes several times. Matter of fact, Mora has scar tissue, I noticed, over both eyes, especially his left eye. Mora's been around a long time. You know, he's been on IR a long time. We're very familiar with him. You mentioned it. He won the Contender, the initial year of the Contender Series. He's a likable kid. You know, he always gives you an honest look.
Come on now, keep it
effort.
He gets it. He understands the business.
And he conducts himself, you know, well outside the ring. To your point, he gets it. I think he should be getting the jab working more, a little bit more.
He's been absent a bit here.
I mean, these are spots you can win. Nothing going on. Just
right there. Just fill some of that space.
Exactly. You can really capture these spots with a jab.
We'll try to back it up with the right hand. Nothing was gained. Led with the right hand that time. Final half minute here of the third.
Yeah, Mora has found it fairly easy
Pick him up.
to land right hands. Matter of fact, I almost think Mora has the thinking that if I'm behind in the round or if the round's close, at any time I could just throw a right hand and maybe pull the round out. That time Mora got caught. Yeah, Mora got caught stepping back that time by Hahn.
Head over to Facebook, fnfvote.com. Vote along, score this.
Here, real speed. No knockdown. Now we're going to look slow motion. You can see actually Mora landed the left hook. He was off balance, but watch. Mora lands the left hook. Hahn does not. Gonna see right here, left hook landed. Hahn does not land, but Mora, you know, I made a point the round before, and this is to that point. Mora gets his feet out of position, too close. Did it again. His feet too close, out of position. He landed a left hook, but he lost his balance. He's lucky that Hahn didn't land there as Mora was leaning or falling off balance. You know, I added to that the last round, Joe. I said, for you young people out there that are watching, you get a chance to learn. And I said it earlier, and there it is again. You don't want to have your feet out of position. So important to have that basement, to have, you know, those cinder blocks, so to speak. If you built a house, you want the foundation to be there. The legs for a fighter, well, that's the foundation, and so important to make sure it's in the right position.
Teddy gave Mora the first 3 rounds. Of course, you can vote on the Friday Night Fight Facebook page. And fans like Hahn 2 rounds to 1, giving Hahn the last 2 rounds.
Yeah, well, maybe they thought that punch landed. There's a right hand landing for Mora. He's been able to land that pretty much at will for the most part tonight. But maybe the fans thought before they saw the replay when they scored, hopefully the judges didn't think the same thing. Maybe they saw Mora fall off balance and they thought a punch landed. I think the one landing clean. I said it at the beginning. Mora doesn't throw a lot. Fights only in spots. But I think the guy landing the cleaner punches has been Mora.
It's a left hand from Mora coming in. On returns, trying to put that right hand to the body. Now he gets Mora in the corner.
Hahn's turning southpaw. Now he
There he is, southpaw, and
going
switching back to orthodox. As you said, they will switch off and back to that southpaw for a moment, throwing out that right jab, and then circles orthodox.
To me, Hahn might have just shown, if I'm Mora, he might have tipped his hand more than he wanted to. He turned southpaw. He didn't look like he was really going to work. It looked to me like it was more just playing possum. It was more setup. Like he wants you to think he could do something.
So jump him at that moment.
So jump on him.
Absolutely. If he's not willing and capable of throwing at that moment, that's when you get aggressive, right?
Yeah, that's what I would do, because he doesn't look like he really wants to do anything when he turns. And if it's just window dressing, if it's just something to make you
right there,
think he's going to do something, come
10
forward.
seconds.
Coming to the end of round 4, want to go back and show you that right hand that Mora landed earlier in this round here, right on the bell here, and then we'll take a really short break. Here's that right hand from Mora here that landed clean. This was best punch that he's put forth so far tonight. Much more from Hahn and Heather. Teddy, don't go messing with Jennifer or Heather. Jennifer's a 3rd-degree black belt in Taekwondo. She's been a world champion. Heather's a 1st-degree black belt. She won the 2004 World Kickboxing Championship, World Boxing Champion, and International Kickboxing Champion in 2005.
Wow. Wow. Like Denzel Washington
Imagine ringing that doorbell for a date.
Said in one of my favorite movies, Man on Fire. I kept saying, I'm a professional, and Denzel said, wow.
Yeah, it's a wow. Didn't have to worry about big brother Abie having to defend them.
No, and it's very, very opportunistic or likely. I mean, perfect planning by the mother to be a nurse.
Absolutely.
How did the mother know that they were all going to go into combat sports? It's amazing. Amazing.
Back up to that red corner there.
Yeah, Hahn doesn't move his head. You know, he's a little cement-footed. He's one-dimensional. I mean, that's what he is. But he's a tough kid. He's game. And he's starting to understand what I thought I understood at the beginning of the fight. That he has a chance. His one chance is to just out-hustle Mora. In other words, do what you do. Just come forward, chuck leather. Actually, I think Hahn is thinking too much. He's doing too much stepping out. That's Mora's game. For me, Hahn should be doing one thing. Stepping forward, staying inside once he's there, and moving his hands. See, like right now, he should stay there, but he's got no balance. He's leaning forward. His legs are bad again. You young, aspiring fighters at home, look at the legs here of these two fighters. It gives them problems. Their legs get out of position. They get crossed. They get too close. They get too parallel. They have no balance. There's a good counter hook for Mora. See, Mora can do more things. He can counter, he can do that, he can step out of range. He can get off first. Hahn can't do all those things. Hahn can do that. Come forward and throw leather.
A few solid right hands landed in this round. There's that counter left again, Teddy.
Yeah, that's what Mora can do. Again, he's got more dimension, you know, more options to him. I don't see the fans at home how they're giving these rounds to Hahn. Look, again, I agree with you. Not a lot being landed, a huge amount by Mora because he doesn't do that. But anything clean being landed, it's by Mora. It's not by Hahn. Hahn's just trying.
Former kickboxer Abie Hahn getting ready for the 6th round against Sergio Mora. Let's check in with Brian Campbell.
Thanks, Joe. Kickboxing remains a big part of Abie Hahn's life. He still teaches a class in El Paso with his father. That's not always a good thing, though, for his boxing trainer, Louis Burke, who says each week he's got to work on correcting the errors in the boxing gym. He says Abie stands up too tall, keeps his weight on his back leg, which is good for kickboxing, but not always good inside the boxing ring.
Well, you've seen some of those worries that his trainer has. You've seen them come to light. The footwork, I mentioned it earlier, the footwork of Hahn hasn't been the best. He's been off balance in spots. And also Mora, well, he doesn't have a kickboxing background, so I don't know why his feet are a little bit out of whack sometimes. But
he has a barbecue boxing
that's
background
true.
in East LA.
That's true. That's
just
true.
like a bunch of butt kicking in the backyard of the streets of East LA with his brothers.
When you're 11 years old,
hey, you, I want to kick your...
I want to kick your what? You know what? And we'll have some ribs afterwards.
Exactly.
You know? And go in the backyard and just put gloves on.
Yeah, let's go.
Start throwing punches. Guess what? Your footwork might not be the best. And if you're a kickboxer like Hahn, as his trainer Louis Burke said, maybe your footwork is not the best, but you know, you have to work on that, and the trainer has to work on that in the gym.
Pick him up, Hahn. Pick him up.
Main event taking us a little past the top of the hour here, and Sports Center is airing on ESPN News right now. They'll be following us once we get to the conclusion of Mora and Hahn. Got a big game in the NBA tonight that they will be detailing.
Now just watch what we're watching. I mean, I know what I'm seeing. I'm seeing one guy in charge of this fight, Joe.
Break clean, break clean.
And I'm still surprised that the fans at home, I don't know what their cards are now. I guess
let me tell you why I'm not surprised
early that they had Hahn winning.
At the end of the last round, you said, you made that comment. You said, Abie Hahn is just trying. Anytime there is a lack of alignment with the way somebody like you sees a fight, and often fans watching at home, is because of simple aggression. Is when there's a fighter that simply is what you just said. He's just trying. He's just trying to be aggressive. That's where I often think you get people that can go the other way in scoring.
Yeah, but there's an important word that has to be coupled to aggression. It's called effective.
Exactly.
And that's what you have to see to give rounds to somebody. Hahn was aggressive, especially the last 30 seconds here. But the man who won the round up to this point, and that did not land, the man who won the round up to this point picking his spots, landing
Come on.
cleaner shots was Mora.
But that's often where you get the discrepancy, is simple aggression rather than effective aggression.
Oh, no.
And sometimes
We ain't gonna
late,
do that no more.
you can steal a round. Sugar Ray Leonard did it against Hagler. Stole a lot of late rounds. I wonder if Hahn just stole late here.
And stuff like that, coming forward and pushing hard. There's some confidence bubbling up in the corner of Abie Hahn from Louis Burke, his trainer. And as we get ready to start round number 7, Joe Tessitore and Teddy Atlas with you ringside. ESPN.com's Brian Campbell with us.
See, for me, you got to know what you are. You know, I always talk about, I say sometimes those great Clint Eastwood movies, you know, where Clint Eastwood used to say, a man, you know, the Dirty Harry movies.
Yeah.
He used to say, a man must know his limitations. And it's so true in everything in life, and no different in boxing. For me, Hahn has to understand his limitations and his strengths. His limitations, he's not a great boxer. His strength is he's a game guy, he's physically fairly strong. He needs to behave that way and understand that and come forward and be busy. I've seen him waste too many spots tonight where he's trying to be something else instead of just what he is. A straight ahead, strong guy. Look, tuck up, move your head, be as smart as you can, but be that, because you're not Pernell Whitaker. And that's when Hahn does his best, when he's busy, when he's in close. And this is exactly what I've been talking about with Mora. He looks for spots, and there was a good spot. Now again, I'm going to ask you, there's a good spot.
There's a chopping right hand that came down from Abie Hahn.
See, that's why Hahn has to stay close. When there's space, that right hand has found the mark for Mora. You know, he's 35 years old. He likes you to leave him alone, give him a little space. And he's a little slick and a little trickier than Hahn.
That's a good descriptive for Mora, I think. Trickier.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
And he needs space to use that trickiness. But when you're close, he can't use that trickiness when you're close. And Hahn should stay close.
I want to bring in the trainer of Abie Hahn, Louis Burke, and see what kind of instructions he gives down the stretch of this round here. We're noticing something in the last round of really imploring him to come on strong.
Come on, Abie. Turn it up, baby. Let's go.
Come on. Come on.
You were talking
Shoot that
about
left hook,
potential
baby.
for stealing rounds. Often the trainer will give a certain cue.
Keep it clean.
He's not doing it here, that's for sure.
That's it. Uppercut, Abie, come on.
Actually, the guy that finished better this round was Mr. Mora.
End of 7.
Time.
Sergio Mora here in our main event against Abie
Oh,
Hahn.
right hand
Thought
again.
he'd be fighting Jermaine Taylor for the title.
See, did you just see that right hand that landed, Joe? And you saw the spray that came with it? Well, that's one of the reasons after you cool down your fighter, which is a good thing to do, you dry his head off. And a little thing like that, a lot of people at home would say, Teddy, I never thought of that. What is the big deal about that? So you don't get that spray. Because when you get that spray, it really, really magnifies, exaggerates the punch that just landed. And you know what? That could cost you a round.
Absolutely. The judges are sitting there and they're seeing an embellished result compared to what the reality is of the impact of the punch.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times these judges, you always have to tell them a punch landed. I hate to say it, but sometimes you got to almost tell them. You don't, if you're on the other side, you don't want your guy's head spraying like it's on fire with water. When a fighter lands, or maybe doesn't even land, maybe it lands on the glove, but the water sprays, and again, you're going to influence the judge to think that your guy just got rattled. And those kind of punches can really sway around sometimes. So that's why you dry off your fighter's head. judges are qualified and doing their job tonight. Because I'm seeing one guy for the most who's landing not 1,000,000 punches, but if there's only 6 punches, 7 punches, like that, landed around, it's being landed by Mora. There's another right hand.
There's another right hand that comes in from Sergio Mora.
And we said in the fight plan, right hands would be there all night, and there it is again for Mora. And he knows it. He's got the experience, former world champion. He knows if something's working, stay with it. See the head movement? Watch the head movement there, Joe, of Han when he does move his head. He moves it from too far away, like that. What the heck is that doing?
Wasted energy.
That's exactly. Not only wasted energy, but you're showing your opponent where the movement is from too far away, where he can zone in on it. That's a good round for Mora.
It sure is. He had that string of right hands that controlled the action throughout. Mora is coming off a good 8th round against Abie Han. Han is from El Paso, 23-1 mark. Mora fought for the title, won it, lost the rematch to Forrest. Thought he'd be fighting for a middleweight belt against Jermaine Taylor, and then Taylor had all his issues.
See, on that replay there, you saw one of, see what the referee has here. The tape was loose. Maybe that's what it is. The tape was loose the last round.
Oh, the commission taped it.
There's some tape.
And that should have been taken care of. To be quite honest, the referee should have caught that the last round, because it was loose the last round. That should have been done in between rounds, so it wouldn't have to obviously interfere with the round. But what I was just saying before that, you saw in the replay, Joe, where Mora lands the right hand, and then Han doesn't land. Why? Well, that's the big difference in this fight. Mora will move his head after his last punch and avoid. That's what you're supposed to do. Move your head after your last punch and avoid what's coming at you back. Han doesn't do that. And for me, that's one of the biggest differences in this fight, and why Mora, at least for me, is winning the fight. Because he's a little better in those areas, in those technical areas, and mostly in the defensive areas. In other words, what I'm saying is, and you hear me say this sometimes, is don't take a picture after you punch. You finish punching, move. Han takes pictures after he punches, and Mora can find them with those counter right hands because of it. But Mora, for the most part, doesn't take a picture after he punches. So he moves his head. He threw the right hand, moves his head over to the left. Went with that right hand motion. Knew he was throwing the right hand, knew he was moving to the left, kept moving there. That time he stood straight up, and a left hook got in.
Let's hit him in the back now.
Mora's trying to set up that right hand now. Little jab to the body, get his attention, get Han's attention downstairs, and then go upstairs.
Han scored on the separation there. Right back to the jab now for Mora. Well, Teddy was detailing, standing in front, taking that picture. Let's go inside the ropes with Teddy for further detail.
You don't want to take a picture in the ring, because you do, you get hit. That means you're not moving after your last punch. Taking a picture, you get hit. You should move your head after your last punch. Taking a picture, you get hit. You should move your head after your last punch. Taking a picture, you get hit. You should move your head after your last punch. Taking a picture, you get hit. You should move your head after your last punch. Taking a picture, you get hit. You should move your head after your last punch. Taking a picture, you get hit. You should move your head after your last punch. Taking a picture, you get hit. You should move your head after your last punch. Taking a picture, you get hit. You should move your head after your last punch. Taking a picture, you get hit. You should move your head after your last punch. Taking a picture, you get hit. You should move your head after your last punch. Taking a picture, you get hit. You should move your head after your last punch. Taking a picture, you get hit. You should move your head after your last punch. Taking a picture, you get hit. You should move your head after your last punch. Taking a picture, you get hit. You sho That's the way. You do that, and you still have a nice smile.
Solo does have a nice smile.
Yes, he does. Great disposition, and always in a happy mood when he's around boxing.
What about the mood that Hans Corner should be in right now? What should be concerning
that
them?
left hook's still there.
Well, reality.
Let's use that left
I don't know
hook.
what reality is. I got to be
And
honest.
one more right hand.
They probably think they're in the fight or they're winning the fight. Maybe they're right. I don't know what these judges have. I'm sure they don't have it the way I have
Everything
it.
you've lived
I
for
have
right
it all
now.
for Mora. So maybe they think that they're in the fight or they're even winning the fight. But for me, the reality is one guy that's kind of controlling the rounds, and that's Mora. So I think that they should understand the truth. It's hard for people to understand the truth. They want to understand what they want to understand, what's comfortable. But I think in boxing, you got to understand the truth. Otherwise, it hits you in the mouth. And Hans people need to understand what I said earlier. He's not a fancy Dan. He's a busy guy. He's a guy that's strong. He needs to get busy. He needs to get closer. If he stays outside like he's doing here, he lets the trickier guy, Mora, do this, pick spots, and win the rounds.
Let's find out what ESPN.com's Brian Campbell heard.
No punching, no punching.
Before round 9, Hans Corner told him, you have 4 rounds to turn this fight around. They said, Mora's dropping his left hand. Let him walk into something.
Thanks, Brian.
I would disagree with that. I'll tell you why. How are you going to let somebody walk into something when you're not a counterpuncher? Han is not a counterpuncher. So how's he going to walk him into something? He's got to walk forward and push Mora into something. That's his style. That right there. That's his style. Right there. Jake LaMotta like. Going forward and creating offense. Not standing back and waiting for Mora to walk in. That's why he's losing for me. It's for exactly that. Standing back and waiting for Mora to walk into something. That's not his strength.
Sergio Mora has a cut on the right eye.
Well, he has scar tissue there. We talked about it early, so it's no shock. But it won't bother him because, he's been down that road before. This is a dominant round for Mora.
Off balance that time. That is a knockdown.
Up into them.
Knockdown scored by Abie Han.
How many times I talk about the feet tonight, Joe? Your feet are out of position, you're off balance, you're vulnerable. How many times? 5, 6 times? Mora pays a price for it right there. I'm not making this a 10-8 round. Even though that's going to be scored a knockdown.
Because you feel he's winning the round, and then there's one moment where he doesn't.
Exactly. I cannot make this a 10-8 round. Although Mora now looking a little tired.
Oh, no, stop.
So you felt it was a 10-9 Mora round. Perhaps you go even here, depending on how it finishes.
Yeah, you go even or you go 10-9 for
10-9 for Han.
Yeah, I would go 10-9 for Han.
Because it wasn't a dominating Mora round enough for it just to go back to even, so you go one notch to 10-9, but not 10-8.
Exactly. Knockdown. Take a look right here. But hey, it counts as a knockdown. Watch, he's off balance. That punch hits him on the shoulder. That's not a clean punch, but the shoulder hides it. Watch. The shoulder punch. But the referee's not in position to see it. He just sees a punch thrown.
Bottom line is the punch is thrown. It landed somewhere, and all of a sudden Mora is on the canvas.
Not what I call legitimate knockdown, but guess what?
It's a knockdown.
Legitimate enough to influence the scorecards and give the round the Han. But for me, not 10-8, 10-9. But here's the big point, Joe.
I would agree. You just don't put 10-8 because that's the required form.
No, you don't. And here's the most important point. And I started this point a long time ago. That the legs, the foundation of a house, the foundation of a fighter, being in position, not being off balance, so important. Mora just paid a price, just lost a round because his legs were not in position.
Stop.
They're just squared up now.
Yeah, now Han's doing what he needs to do. Mora bleeding a little bit from the nose. His mouth's open. He's 35 years old. Don't forget, mentally, Mora was up. He was fighting for the title. You know, he's fighting Jermaine Taylor. And then all of a sudden, bang, that's pulled away from him. It's not a title fight. You fight a guy you expected to win,
I know we're getting
and it's
tired,
not for
guys.
the title.
Pick it up, though. Come on,
mentally, you crash a little bit. And I wonder, and you're human. You are human. You crash a little bit. You're a pro. You do your job, but you crash. I wonder if Mora is being affected right now by that.
Mora almost ended up outside the ropes there. He squat down so low in that last exchange.
And then the opposite from the mental landscape. Han is being now motivated by the fact that he's still in a fight with a former world champion, and this is his moment. This is his moment, his chance to grab the limelight, to step up in the boxing circles where he wasn't before, to really make his career, in other words. So here you got Mora looking at it like, gee, you know, it's a downer, it's not for the title. And you got Han, the opposite. Wow, this is a chance for me to be somebody. That is showing right now.
I'm coming in, taking that side step, and then trying to land that left hand. See, tied up. They need to work out of that position here. Han will separate them.
Han is doing what he should have been doing, I thought, rounds ago. Just doing what he does. Nothing fancy. In close, aggressive, following Mora when he goes out. You can hit him when he goes out. He goes straight out with his hands down. Being aggressive. Not trying to be fancy.
No. Come on now. Keep safe. Come on. Fine.
Let's listen in to each corner here before the 12th and final round.
Take a deep breath. Third dose. I don't know what's going on. It might come down right here. But I need you to get in there and I throw tight punches. Don't fall in and get him with a dumb punch. But get close. Touch him, and then start ripping him. You got to throw that right hand. Throw it at his chest, all right? You got to catch him with a counter hook. Make it a good one. Touch him with a two.
Take a look at this right here, this move by Han. He steps to the side. Right idea, but doesn't get executed. You want to know why? Because he doesn't blind Mora. He doesn't cover his tracks. He doesn't use a jab to distract him, to take his vision away, to make that move. He just makes the move. Good idea, bad execution.
I need you more. When he bends forward, I need uppercuts. You got it? Let's get it, son. Let's get some.
Touch him up. Come on. Touch him up. Touch him up. Come on. Come on. Touch him up. Great fight, guys. All right. Go back. Box. Make a good one, guys.
I'm going to make you a bet, Joe.
What is it, Teddy?
I'm going to bet you $1 to a donut that the judges at ringside, forget about the fans at home, them too, but the judges, the ones that count, the judges at ringside have a scorecard a lot different than mine.
What do you like, Boston cream? French cruller?
Yeah, I would like one of the new cronuts.
Oh, you like those? The half croissant, half donuts?
Yeah, they're pretty good.
Trendy New Yorker you are. They got cronuts in Staten Island?
Yes. Yeah, we got
They made it there?
Yes, we got
I thought that was like Upper East Side kind of pastry.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really brag to people in Staten Island that I'm eating cronuts. Yeah. Kind of keep that private. Calzones, that's different.
Yeah, you got those. Every corner.
Beautiful.
See what they can bring here in these last 90 seconds. Teddy had it 108-102 for that $1 to a donut bet going into this final round. Facebook, the viewers at home, this is what Teddy thinks the ringside judges may see, and then 6'5" Hahn.
And see, now Han's doing exactly, got his motor running, you know, and he's doing exactly what he, for me at least, he should have been doing for the most part all night. Doing the one thing he can do, be strong and throw punches. Not try to stay outside and think too much. That's where there's space, and that's where the more experienced, trickier Mora has room to land those right hands. Like that. Mora's mouth is wide open.
Let go of the remote.
He's also wiping away a lot of blood.
Yeah, well, he's having trouble breathing out of his nose. And his mouth, he's laboring a little bit.
Now he's got a cut streaming down from his left eye as well here. There's another right hand.
Little cut in the corner of the left eye of
10 seconds, guys.
And Hahn has a small cut as well as they bring it down the last 5 seconds here.
Now, who do you give this round to? I mean, again, Hahn busy, but Mora, some clean right hands.
Fans really enjoyed it. I'll tell you, they really enjoyed it here in Biloxi. Hahn gave a spirited effort. Mora does what he always does. We'll hear from the judges when we come back. Thank you, Todd. Let's get right to it as we went 12 here between Hahn and Mora. Teddy liked it 117-112 for Mora. Facebook fans liked it 7-5 for Hahn. So which way will it go? As Thomas Triber and the boys here in the local commission are tallying things up.
That could always be a little scary when they take time, too much time.
And then Triber takes a slow walk towards us. That's equally as threatening. Here you go, Thomas. Take it away, my friend.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 12 rounds of boxing, we go to the judges' scorecards, and we have a split decision. Judge Richard Green scores it 114-113 in favor of Mora. Judge Larry Ingalls scores it 115-112 in favor of Hahn.
They're going to give it to Hahn. Watch.
And Judge Freddie Steinwinder III scores it 115-112 in favor of your winner and now the USBA middleweight champion, the man known as the Latin Snake, Sergio Mora.
Yeah, that's the right decision.
Split decision win for Sergio Mora.
I mean, again, you hear the boos, you hear some people that they saw an aggressive guy. Some of them are fans of Hahn's. He was coming forward. But you got to look beyond that. The last few rounds, I gave it to Hahn. He came on. But early on, the man controlling the fight, the ring generalship, the clean-up punches. For me, that was Mora.
Hey, folks, next week we have 4 first-round matches of our tournament. It's Boxino's 154-pound tournament. Coming up next is SportsCenter, but first a look back at Friday Night Fight January.